Guess who's going back to Sephora? So today I actually had my first shift back at Sephora and I actually joined a new brand. So I actually joined the team for Dr. Dennis Gross and I'm so excited because I absolutely love Dr. Dennis Gross. Like, their skincare products are absolutely amazing. Like, if you guys have tried their peel pads, they're so good, and especially their serums too. Chef's kiss. I'm also so nervous because I have to drive downtown, which is fine. I really like being downtown. And today's actually my first shift there. I'm actually working at the Eaton Center today and I'm so excited. But just joining a whole new brand, a whole new team, and going back to Sephora stores, it's kind of nerve-wracking because there's certain expectations. And also I'm a little bit more excited because I get to join this amazing skincare brand. I get to promote their products. And honestly, I've been a Sephora girly at heart, so I actually miss being back in the environment, even though it is very chaotic, very different from Shoppers Drug Mart with working with Nudestix. But I am really excited. So I actually joined the Sephora team back in 2018 when I was applying for their jobs. I actually applied to Sephora 3 times before I actually got my official job back at square one. So I actually applied back in 2016 or 2017, way back when I was still in undergrad, because I was still trying to leave my first job because it wasn't the best. The manager wasn't the best. It was such a very toxic environment that I just had to get out. But I wanted to go specifically to Sephora because I just enjoyed everything makeup and skincare. And basically at that time, there weren't many Sephora stores available in the GTA just because there were very limited ones. I know now there's a lot of Sephora stores opening, like the recent one opened at The Well in downtown Toronto, which is incredible. So there are very limited locations I was actually able to apply. So the first location I actually applied to was actually Sherway Gardens. Previously, I had applied to work at Sephora stores, but I didn't have any job experience, which is why I ended up taking a cashier position at a local grocery store. But then afterwards, I applied to Sherway Gardens. So I actually did get an interview with them and I was really excited. And I actually made it to the second interview, which is the interview that you actually have to do the demo on an actual client, which was one of their employees. So I was super nervous about the demo because I never had done makeup with someone actually watching me and criticizing my makeup. Like, I had practiced makeup on a lot of my friends, a lot of my sisters, and I felt like I had enough experience to actually do an application on another person since I was like everyone's go-to makeup artist in my family and friend group. So I was like, okay, this is no problem. So I went and I did the demo and I was actually so nervous, but I think I did really well. Her makeup turned out really great, but in my gut, I knew I wasn't going to get the job because I felt like the 2 people who were watching me, they weren't really paying attention. I felt like they already kind of like made up their mind, and I still continued to do a good job, completed it, and then afterwards they gave me like the things I did well and the things I needed to improve in, and that was that. And then afterwards I remember sitting in my undergrad library at UTM and I was like calling them like, hey, did I get the job? And unfortunately I didn't get it. After that I was kind of sad and I'm just like, you know what, that's fine, I can apply to another position. So I kept looking at other positions that I was able to apply for at my local malls, and thankfully there was another position opening a few months afterwards back at the Sherway location, and I was so excited. So this one was a little bit more different. This was actually in a group setting, so it was more so like a group interview, which was actually really fun. I think there were like maybe 5 or 6 of us in a circle with the manager, and she was just asking us like a bunch of questions, which was fine. I was able to answer those questions because I kind of knew from my previous interview what they were kind of going to ask me, and I kind of was more prepared for this interview. And then when the time came around towards the end of the interview, the manager had asked me to stay back to talk about my availability. I was just like, okay, yeah, cool, that's totally fine. So then afterwards, she was like, you know, we are going to schedule you for a second interview, which was the demo. And I was more so prepared for that as well. So I was actually really excited because I was the only one out of the entire group to be asked to talk about their availability and come back for a second interview. However, I don't really recall how that second interview went because I literally have no memory of it. Unfortunately, I ended up not getting the position. And at this point, felt like I was just like never going to get the job to work at Sephora. And I was just like, you know what? This is actually meant to be. Maybe it's a sign that I wasn't meant to work there. But honestly, I didn't give up. Now, at this point, I was literally about to give up. But thankfully, about a year later, I saw another opening at Sephora, and it was actually a job fair located at Square One, which was perfect because I was attending undergrad at UTM, which was not far from there at all. So it was very convenient for me. So I was like, okay, I need to go and apply to this job fair. So I got to the job fair pretty early. I was actually one of the first ones in line to the job fair because that's how eager I was. I was like, you know what, I need to be the first person here. I need to show that I'm eager, I'm willing to work, I'm very punctual. So I was the first person in line and I was like really excited. And there was actually a lot of people at the job fair because it was actually held within the mall location at Square One. So the way that this was set up is they had different stations around the store. So there was basically one where you did your first interview with some of the managers, and then afterwards there was a station where you were actually able to go and perform your demo. However, this demo wasn't different. The demos I did before, they were actually like a full face that you had to do within a certain amount of time. I believe you had 30 minutes to do it. And then for this one, you had to do like one portion of the face, whether it was foundation, concealer, eyeliner, eyebrows, stuff like that. So they're kind of like little features of the face that you were able to do since these interviews were so quick. So I remember this interview like a T. So my feature was doing eyeliner, and I was just like, oh my gosh, my hands were like shaking. However, I was really good at eyeliner. I do it all the time because I literally wore makeup in undergrad like every single day, and I always did eyeliner. I don't know how I had the energy to do that because I literally cannot do that now in terms of like wearing makeup every day and doing like a full face, but I was so ready for this. So I did the eyeliner, and the manager who was there, she was the stage manager. She was watching me throughout the entire time, and with this team I actually felt a lot more love. I actually felt really confident about this time going around, and I felt really positive about the criticism she gave me. She said I did a really good job, and I forgot what the criticism she gave me. She was like probably like maybe just work on like fine lining or tune. I honestly don't remember. I just remember she said that it was a really good job, and then afterwards my ears kind of went to blank after that. And then that was basically it for the interview. I also forgot to add that once I finished the entire first and second interview, once we were called back, we were actually scheduled to have a meeting with the store director of Sephora at that location. Once they gave us a call, I was actually able to go and have an interview with the store director at the time, and she was so sweet. But honestly, with working as an employee, I'm always scared of people who are higher up, the store director, so I was super nervous, but she was so nice. And then afterwards I did the interview with the store director, and then I got the call saying I got the job, and then it was time for me to head off to orientation. So that's basically how I was able to start off with the company, and after that I have just grown since then. I've worked there for 3.5 years, and it was honestly like such a good time. I love the cast, I love the members of the Sephora team, I love my leadership. They were actually really amazing and way more supportive than my previous job at the grocery store. Like, it was just like a lot more amazing. It was a lot more supportive, and I really enjoyed my time there. Now, don't get me wrong, every job has its up and downside. So of course there were like some downsides to the job as well. But however, overall, like I felt really happy working there at Sephora, but like everything, it comes to an end. And then I just started off with medical school. And now with the free time that I actually have, now I'm actually able to work as a brand rep, which is a lot more flexible, especially with how my schedule is right now. Especially with going to the island, coming back, and just having that time to actually work and actually have some time to study as well. Now, while I worked at Sephora, I was actually able to schedule my shift, which is really nice, and the managers were actually able to work with my schedule. And one of the best parts about working there was actually the gratis, which was a lot of the free makeup that they would give you in a little bin that you're able to take home. And a lot of brands would just send that over, so that way we were able to use the products, experiment with it, and actually tell clients how much we actually really loved it, so that way we were able to give our own opinions about it and just help clients with that kind of product knowledge. So overall, the moral of the story is no matter how much someone says no to you, don't let that keep you from trying again and again, because you never know when you're actually going to get that thing that you actually want. No matter what, you are your biggest advocate, and you have to believe in yourself to know that you actually want the thing that you want. You're going to do anything in your power to get it, and you're never going to give up on yourself. And because of all of this, I was actually able to work at Sephora for 3.5 years, go on to Nudestix and work there since 2021 on and off with school, and actually start to work today with Dr. Dennis Gross in skincare. Life is honestly a journey, and you just have to keep going at it. And that's basically my story on how I started off with Sephora onto Nudestix. Now I'm officially a brand rep for Dr. Dennis Gross. Honestly, if I can do it, you guys can do it too, whether it's your job or anything in life. If you guys go after it, you guys can get it.